Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I want to talk to you about how many applications, PhD applications, you should send out for graduate school. So for those of you who are applying to graduate school, if you don't know, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And this is really probably tailored a little bit more towards the social sciences. So for those of you who are thinking of doing a PhD in a business school, this is completely relevant. I talk about a lot of stuff about going and doing a PhD in business administration. But I think this advice applies across the sciences or across all institutions and whatnot. So in terms of if you're thinking of doing a PhD, how many applications should you send out? So for me, if I were you, I would send out as many applications as you possibly can. So that's an important thing to think about. And the reason why the reason why you should do that is because you don't want to terminate or sort of cut off any opportunities before you get the chance to actually sort of pursue those opportunities, right? So if you never send out any of these applications, you never know whether somebody actually might have thought that you're a cool person and that they want to bring you on board, right? So you want to first at least get maybe that they're interested in you, some sort of signal that they're interested in you before you sort of terminate that relationship, because you have no idea, right? So if you only apply to a certain small area, and I wish I would have done this as well, because I would have had a little bit better. I only applied to institutions within Canada, so I'm Canadian, but now I live in the U.S. and I would have known that that there's a lot of institutions in the U.S., by the way. So I probably should have applied to some American and even some UK schools if I was to do this again. And I just didn't know, right? So I should have applied more broadly. But anyways, it worked out positively. I got into a great school, University of Western Ontario, right? Go Mustangs. So it was a great school. It was a great business school. And I learned a lot at that particular institution. But, it probably would have been better if I would have applied more broadly. So I would have had opportunities in all these different locations. Because essentially you need to figure out what is... So there's this sort of idea behind entrepreneurship. So I do teach or do a little bit of research in this area, and one perspective is that you need to understand all these particular opportunities before you can select on those opportunities, right? So there's a whole debate in entrepreneurship research. I don't know, it's crazy, but anyways, you need to know what these opportunities are, and then once you know what these opportunities are, you can sort of select on the best possible one. So you apply to, I don't know, you can apply to Western Ontario. You can also apply, by the way, they changed their name to Western University a few years ago. Or you can apply to University of Toronto. You can apply to, Rochester, University of Rochester. SUNY is another great one in New York. You can apply to all around the country, Stanford, and then you can go crazy, right? And apply to the ones that you think, I would never go into those kind of institutions because they would never be interested in me, like Stanford or Princeton or Harvard, Yale, whatever it is. But just do it for the hell of it, because you never know. It's crazy because you truly never know at the end of the day who might be interested in you as a person with your PhD application, because they might be looking for somebody that has a specific need. One of the professors might be looking for somebody that is very good at qualitative research, and you've done a lot of qualitative stuff in your day. So they might be like, well, yeah, that person might sort of work. You have a good enough GMAT score, and the way that you write in your application are really quite nice. And so they might jump on that opportunity, right? So just don't discount it. You might apply. You might be this sort of qualitative person that really loves that kind of stuff, but then you apply to a really quant kind of oriented school, right? Like NYU, or not to say that I'm not throwing them under the bus, but there is a lot of quant people there. You can apply there, and then you never know what's going to happen. There might be somebody that's going to like who you are. But there's a caveat. So I want to make sure that you're well aware of this caveat. If you send in BS applications and it's just kind of a blanket BS application to everybody and it looks that way, right, that it's very generic and it is like you did not care about the application, so that's going to give you a big discount. All those applications are going to be thrown out. at the end of the day, because it just looks like you didn't care, you didn't even try. And it just looks like complete form, letter, insert institution here, insert, like it's not going to fly for you at all. So this is what the caveat is apply to as many as you possibly humanly can. You'll realize once you start taking good care and really going into it, you're going to be limited in the many that you can apply to. And that's a good thing. You should be sort of naturally limited in how many you can apply to. And if you don't get in this year, you apply the following year, and you do that for a couple of years. And that's how you get in, right? Like it's the same as med school. You're not going to get in one year. You might get in the other years. So just don't give up. Just keep going and work on, if your GMAT score is too low, work on it. Do another, do your GMAT again. Just keep applying, send out as many as you possibly can until you actually get that opportunity you really want. And you're not going to know what that opportunity looks like until it actually gets offered to you. So just keep going, keep marching along. You could do it. I know you can. And just keep building relationships with professors and working on your GMAT, and just keep doing it, right? You just do it for a while, and then you'll get into the program that you want to get into. It really truly works that way. There's really no magic to it. You just got to keep trying and pushing forward. And then, what a crazy thing is with this, if you keep applying and you work at it, right? So if you apply and nothing changes with your application, you apply a couple of years in a row, and you've got a GMAT of 500, which is really low, and you keep applying with that, and you don't really build anything, that's going to be a negative, right? Like nobody's going to take you seriously. But if you apply with a 500 the first year, and then you go back and you don't get in, you go back and you apply with a 750 after that because you studied really hard for your GMAT and you did really well, that's an amazing signal that you have the dedication to actually do this and push forward. Or you know absolutely nobody at the institution, but then the next year you read up on all the research and you realize that, oh, this is really cool, and I really want to work with this person because they know everything about absorptive capacity, which is a really technical term that nobody's going to know about. But you know absolutely everything about that particular thing and all the ins and outs. Wow, all of a sudden your application looks amazing, right? So just keep working at it, and you're going to get in. So that's all I want to talk about. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.